Hello everyone and welcome to Gierok Farms. It is a beautiful spring day today. We are getting started in the barn here after milking, getting everything cleaned up. Now that the dairy herd is out of the barn, Dad is running the gutter chain right now. I'm gonna go in there and help sweep up the mangers, bed the stalls, things like that. We also got to clean out the bull barn. So it's going to be a nice spring chore video for you guys. It's the middle of April right now and I am loving it. I am soaking in the sun here. So thank you all for watching. Let's get to work. The straw we're using to bed the barn is some of that straw from out west, but this bale here was in the back of our shed on the ground. There's nothing in between the bale and the ground, so it did get kind of moldy, kind of damp. Which is okay, it's dried out now, but it's still, you know, it's not ideal. So I think next year when we put that them bales in there, or this year, the next time, we'll put some pallets down or a tarp or something. Try to preserve our inputs. Got the manure spreader all loaded up. As you can see, he just cleaned out the barnyard here. Got it scraped up really nice. The dairy herd is out there enjoying the sunshine. We have the front pasture open for them so they can stretch their legs out there. But we'll go check on them girls later, but we should keep moving in the barn here. Okay, we finished feeding up in here and I wanted to take a couple minutes to quiz you guys, get some opinions in the comments going. So you guys have seen how we feed up here in the dairy barn. It's pretty labor intensive. It's not terrible, but it takes time and manpower. We are shoveling out of this dump wagon here into wheelbarrows and then into the barn. So once we're in the barn with the wheelbarrows, it's not too bad. That's pretty easy going. That doesn't take a whole lot of effort. But shoveling it off the wagon, that definitely keeps a guy in shape. We know some of these barns, guys put overhead conveyors in, which we want to avoid. We don't want to do that. We're okay with wheeling it in the barn with the wheelbarrows. We're not quite big enough for a feed cart, This upper side here would be way too tight, especially once we get the hay in there, in order to make it through there with a feed cart really nice. And we want to be able to keep our hay separate from our silage. If we went to a total mixed ration and cleaned up the manger every time, it wouldn't be too bad there to fit along the wall, but it still would be really tight. So the thought we had to transition to something a bit more easy going would be to get a TMR out here or some type of feed wagon with a side belt or auger off the side. I've seen some smaller feed wagons where there's a belt or chain that is maybe like 3 feet wide and extends up maybe about chest high, 5 foot up, and that would be really good. It's designed, I think, for loading a feed cart outside on a dead level, but it would be ideal if we could get something like that that's long enough to where we can fill our wheelbarrows right up here on our big curb here, where we would drive in here sideways. The tractor would be kind of parked right up in here where I'm standing, and then the unload portion of the feed wagon or TMR would be right over here over our platform. So if you guys have any ideas for that, leave them down in the comments. Also, another thing is capacity. We don't want to be driving to get feed every single day. Not all of our feed is up in the yard. We'd like to be able to do what we do, where we keep 3 days worth of feed up here by the barn ready to go during the winter time when it keeps nice. So leave some comments down below, brands that would fit that well. Seems like the bigger ones you get, then they don't have that nice incline auger off the side, I guess you could say. Send us some messages on Facebook or Instagram, or email them to us, or just describe it down in the comment section on YouTube. I want to spark some conversation, get some ideas from you guys. So thanks for that. You can hear it in the background. Dad is in the skid steer now. He's cleaning up our heifer barn. So we're gonna go over there, help him move gates, and get that all cleaned up over there.
We've been looking into getting something different than this for scraping the yard. This is all stainless steel. I don't know if Vermeer builds this. No, it's Burlon. I guess right here it says. We were just at a dealer looking at those big rubber tire ones. And then they got that piece of rubber in the front. But I was actually thinking of giving one of those a try and maybe trading this thing up. So I'm not sure. Because right now this has just got a big hunk of rubber going around the edges there. And I think what's happening is it's got these adjustment bolts here, but with the down pressure and the banging around, it's not enough to hold it. It ends up pushing it up in there.
I think with this setup, you got to be adjusting stuff all the time, and adjusting your lip versus the nice tires, that kind of wears with everything all at
So
one
what
time.
I'm wondering is, I never had one of those on the skid steer. But the theory with this is it's lighter, because that's a big grader tire. That's pretty heavy. So I don't know if that's what it is, because it seems this one, I prefer the back grade. It seems to do 100% better job than setting it down and pushing.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments if you have that big tire, how well that works, or if there's still some challenges with that. Maybe it's not a perfect world.
No, I'm just thinking, I'm wondering if it don't mold, the whole tire might flex more, like this ain't gonna get.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that's what's going on here, because the concrete, we have, because of our world around us here, everything is sloped. But we have so many divots and edges where if you're not scraping in just the right spot, you're almost just smearing it around, which gets crazy. What I want you to do here, cut that little gate, that little wheel gate, and put those guys in the calf pasture. But I noticed that back gate is kind of tipped. I think the top hinge is cracked off. Maybe you want to take some twine with you back there so this whole herd doesn't get, and they can get mixed with that maternity cow. I mean, that's nothing. But we're going to scrape this out. We're just going to throw this up on a pile, get a bale of bedding, and adjust this up for ourselves. So you work on that, and I'll keep going here.
Come on, girl. Keep everybody separate here. right, we got them cows sorted off here. We got that gate tied up. We haven't found a whole lot if we can't fix without baling twine, huh?
Well, it is the farmers. It's a waste product. And actually, that plastic twine is some pretty tough stuff. Like, I actually think if you double or triple it, it might be stronger than chain.
Yeah.
You know, but again, it's, and then of course, to undo it, just cut it, and you got more. But I was gonna say, so when I'm scraping this up, get the other bobcat with the spear. Just bring a bale, just set it in the bedding. I'll spread it with this one.
All right, I'm gonna go get that bale, but I'll let you guys watch these girls play out on the pasture here for a while. Keeping an eye on them. All right, so I got that bale in here on the other end. Once Dad's done pushing manure up here onto our stockpile, we'll get that spread out. Trying to keep that new skid steer out of the manure, so we'll let the old one play around pushing it out over this bedding pack in here. Get out of that dust. I just love seeing all these girls interact out there and get familiar with one another. They're like, hey, I know you, new fence, same face. Shortly here, we'll be tied up in there, and we'll be able to let these girls come back in. I'm assuming we'll leave the gate open for them. Since it's such a beautiful day, they can go back and forth. It's dry out there, so they aren't hurting anything in that maternity pasture out there. Okay, Dad's getting the heifers let in their side right now. Mid-video here, I want to remind you guys, check out GierokFarms.com. Get yourself some awesome merch like this. We got sweatshirts, hats, t-shirts. Grab them t-shirts while you can. Summer's right around the corner. So check us out, GierokFarms.com. Okay, something else I wanted to highlight in this video, and we've gotten some mail from you guys in the past before. This is definitely something to showcase here. We got a really nice package from Curtis in Missouri. He also sent us some letters about his life and his story, along with some awesome 164ths here, along with some other really cool pieces of history, which we'll show you here in detail. Starting off here, we really appreciate all the mail that any of you have sent us. We really enjoy that. And it's been a lot of fun getting to read the letter that came with this package and get to know Curtis a little bit better. And I've learned a lot about him reading through this. So from what I've learned reading this letter so far, it sounds like he used to work for Case International back in the day. And when they built the Magnums, that was a big part of his career. He got to be part of building them and inspecting them and that whole ordeal there, which is really cool now that I have one, to hear from a guy that was part of building them. So anyway, he sent us some of his collection. He said the John Deeres are for Dad, since he's the John Deere guy. We got some cool emblems here for the tractors. If I'd ever need one day, that'd be handy. They'll look cool on a shelf, or I was even joking with Mason, they'd look cool on a new truck under like the 1500 or something. You guys will have to let me know what you think of that. But also we got some Magnums here, some two-wheel drives, one with a loader. We got a baler that mimics the style balers that we have, an old round baler, a wagon, and then I love this, a replica of the tractor that I own, a 7120 Case IH International Magnum. And then over here is some really cool pieces of history. It sounds like this was actually poured in one of the molds in the factory they used to kind of commemorate or celebrate the 7100 series of Magnums. And then along with this belt buckle, that was something that was given out to showcase and celebrate that line of tractors. But you can even ask my wife. I've been talking about how it'd be really cool to like win a belt buckle doing something, like a rodeo or a race or something like that. Kind of like getting a watch for retirement. It's I don't know why, that just always sounded cool to me. So now it's awesome to be gifted such a piece of history, I guess you could say, in the form of a belt buckle. So thank you for that, Curtis. Thank you to any of you who have ever sent us mail. We really appreciate it. By no means do we expect it, but it is a lot of fun to kind of showcase it to you guys and get to learn more about you and share a little snippet of your guys' life with us. Leave your comments down below what you think of this awesome lineup of stuff here we got. If you too want to send us some mail, we have a P.O. box, which is always down in the descriptions of the videos. I'll also throw it up on the screen for you guys. Don't make the mistake to send it to an address that you might have Googled that's tied to Gierok Farms. We've had some packages that make it to some other Gieroks that isn't our farm address, so keep that in mind. Send it to the P.O. box, then you know it's getting to us. But anyways, we're gonna end off the video here. Thanks for being part of the journey. Thanks for making it to the end. Remember, share, like, subscribe, and we will see you all next time.